Good morning. This is another installment of how to do more with your a7 IV. Today I'm going to be doing some headshots at a local dentist office, and so I thought I'd take you along with me on my assignment. We'll talk about the settings on the camera, we'll talk about the type of strobes I use, the light modifiers, and we'll also talk about just the kind of lens that I like to use, which is the 85-118. So the first thing is you need some space. You really need some space to do proper work with portrait work, because you have big light modifiers. You need some room, and so I just want to kind of show you this room I'm in. This room is like a teaching room, and it's filled with all kinds of chairs and tables and stuff, and I basically just shoved it all over to the side, which gives me room to work. All right, my main light today is an Elinchrom Rectabank, which is one of my favorite, again, light modifiers for portraits. It's massive and it's really easy to set up, as I'll show you. So you can see how fast it goes together, which is why I love it. My strobe of choice for most of what I do is the Westcott FJ400. These are great. I've got about 10 of them. I have a lot because I do teaching, but I also do a lot of other stuff, and sometimes you're on a job, interior jobs especially, are just, you have to have a lot of light. So this goes on very simply, and there's like an adapter in here that lets me use A-mount strobes on this, which is really handy, except that the way I put it on, I can't see the display. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn this on. It's all radio, so real simple. Love it. So this is the trigger. It's really cool. The bottom part here is a Sony foot, which comes off. And the thing that's great about these triggers is that they work on any camera system, which is really handy. Although I just use Sony, obviously. But it's really a nice system. And this thing flops down, so you don't have to have it up also. And I can change the power settings at will. I'm going to start with 1.5 as my main and see if that works. And of course I've got the a7 IV on mechanical shutter, so it'll fire when I need it to. So next I'm going to go place the main light, and if you look over here you'll see a dry erase board. It's white, unlike the wall, which is kind of an off-white yellow. So I'm going to be using the dry erase board as my reflector on one side of the portrait, and my main will be on the other. And so you'll see how tight it gets in there, but it'll work great. So you can see I've got my main light set up, I've got the reflector that I'm using, the dry erase board, and the background is going to be this wall over here, which I've used in the past. So it's okay that it's not white, because it's not a white background. And what we're after here in this job is consistency. It's really important to give consistent look to all your images for clients that need things on an ongoing basis. So they have a big staff here. All right, so now I've got my second light, which is going to be a background light, not a hair light. I don't like using hair lights. I don't use them at all, hardly. I've got two different grids here, and as you can see, you can kind of see that one is tighter than the other. This is a 20 degree, this is a 30 degree. I'm going to go with a 30 degree on this. It's very simple. I'm just going to kind of tuck this in to, this is called a 7-inch grid reflector. You want to be really careful not to drop your grids because they dent really easy, and you just want to keep them in good shape. Okay, now you're able to kind of see the little sort of narrow channel I'm going to be shooting through. So basically the main light here, and then the reflector here, and then the background there. And you can also see here is my background light. It's also really important to make sure that you set your auto white balance and turn it off, and make sure it's set for daylight only when you're using strobes. Also in a little bit you're going to see that the lights are going to go off. I'm going to turn off all the lights that are here, because these lights that are in the ceiling are not going to emit the same light that my strobes are. And this is daylight. The strobes are 5500 Kelvin, and these are, who knows what they are. That's why we turn them off, just so that that little exposure doesn't sneak in and affect the color of our portraits.